Yo!
Hey, what's going on?
How you doing, Emily?
I'm good. Who watched Triple Digit Flip yesterday?
I did. Did you watch it?
No, I didn't get to.
I love that she asked. Oh my gosh, it's so good. She was
I'm like the number one
maybe
supporter.
if I ask, he won't ask me.
I'm so red right now. No, but I saw what you posted on IG that it was about intentions, and I love that you do that. That's so cool because I'm all about energy and vibes and intention. I just love that you do that on your flips.
Yeah, it's actually a practice that I brought into our lives when I built our house. And so I had this crazy idea. I'm like, you know what? Words are so powerful. And, they've done these experiments where they've taken water.
Oh, I love this.
And they've put in water in a cup, and they'll write love on one of the cups, and then they'll write hate on another one of the cups. And then they'll just let that water sit for weeks and weeks and weeks, and they just watch what happens to it. Now, the water that was in the cup that had love on, and this experiment has happened over and over. People do it in their own houses. You can do it in yours right now if you want it. What'll end up happening is that the water that had that energy of love, that was surrounded by love, it ferments and it becomes more beautiful, and it becomes more vibrant.
Yeah.
And on the other side,
right?
It's the side of hate, it's full of mold and decay. And so in knowing that our words can be that powerful, imagine being able to bless your house with a field of positivity. That's what we do when we are writing our intentions on those walls. We're trying to leave behind resonance, an imprint of positivity that can become a part of the family that moves into that house. And that's where our intent is in doing that. And hopefully it catches on. And that other people, when they're doing their projects, they do it with a sense of love for the people that will be living there.
I love that so much. I remember I was watching one of your coaching calls or something where you were telling that story, and that you did it in your own house, and you were like, my house has just such good energy. And I was just thinking, and I was like, yeah, whenever I'm like at your house and we're shooting, like it's just something that just feels so like, just so good. Like you can't put your tongue on it.
You can't put words to it, but you walk through the doors here and you're in a completely different state of mind. Everything changes. So it's cool, man. It's a good thing, and I'm so happy that A&E allowed us to share it with America, and more people are going to be able to do this. Yeah. Welcome to all the Astro students that came from my Astro call, to the Flip Me students that came from my Flip Me call, to all of you that just follow me on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook and all the things. Super, 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 super happy to have you guys here. This live stream is all about one thing and one thing only. And it is the foundation of this business, teaching you guys how to evaluate property. First and foremost, that's what's important. Why? Because your success in this business is dependent on your capacity to make money. And the only way you're going to make money, my friend, is if you know how much things are worth and then are able to buy it for a little bit less, right? Great. So what are the rules that we follow when we are evaluating property? These are the appraisal rules, guys. If you don't have these printed out, print them out, laminate it, put it on your desk, fold it up, put it in your wallet, put it in your car, put it in front of your toilet, all the things. Stare at this piece of paper and learn it. Memorize these things, because they will serve you and they will make you rich. And they did me. These are the appraisal rules, guys. First and foremost, when we're comparing two properties, we are going to compare two properties that are in the same subdivision. Emily put that link in the chat or in the comments for the appraisal rules, so you have no excuses for not having it, guys. It's right there. Take it. You can only compare two properties that are in the same subdivision. You can only compare two properties that are within plus or minus 200 square feet of each other in size. Now, guys, I'm a little bit more flexible on this. You can go to about 250, but beyond that, then the dollar per square foot starts to skew. So how that works in application, if your subject property is 1,000 square feet, then your comp property can only either be 800 square feet or 1,200 square feet. So plus or minus 200 square feet either way is acceptable. But beyond that now, we're not talking apples to apples anymore. It's apples to pears, okay? So plus or minus 200 square feet. Next, we can only compare properties that are of the same type. So if you are comparing a single-story rancher, you cannot compare that to a two-story. Two stories and single stories are not the same. If your comp is in a historic district and your subject property is not in a historic district, are they the same? No. It can only be two houses in the historic district or two houses outside of the historic district. You're following what I'm saying, picking up what I'm putting down? If your property is siding or backing traffic, but your comp is not, are they the same? No. If you have a property on a major road, then you can only pull comps that are on a major road. Okay, that's how it works. Also, if you are comparing two properties, try to keep those within the same year, the same build generation. I like to say plus or minus 5 years. It could be, you could go as deep as 10, but 5 is very, very accurate. 10 is still acceptable, but beyond 10 years, get out of town. They're not the same unless you're talking turn of the century, late 1800s, early 1900s, in which case they are of the same build generation. They did not use different tools in 1892 than they did in 1929. So the technology hadn't really changed much in that decade or in that generation. So building materials are the same. So you can compare that. So essentially why I say 5 years is because I want you to compare properties within the same build generation. Okay. Now, if you have properties that you're comparing to your subject that do have some differences, like an extra bedroom or missing a bathroom, or one has a pool and one does not have a pool, these are the adjustments you want to make. First and foremost, only compare houses that are within about 2,500 square foot in lot size. For instance, I live on a house that has a half acre. 2 streets up from me, they don't have half acres. They are on the biggest lot 2 streets up from me is about 8,000 square feet. Houses on my street that have a half acre are worth $600,000 to $800,000 more than a house on an 8,000 square foot lot. Why? Because where I live, that's how much that land is valued at. So you only want to compare houses that are within 2,500 square feet of each other in lot size, because something like what I just described to you that occurs in my neighborhood might be happening in your area, and you want to make sure that you catch that. Also know, guys, that if you are siding, backing traffic or commercial or multifamily, that will have an effect on your price. So in lower price points, 350K and less, it's not as dramatic as higher luxury price points. Emily, if you can scroll up just a tad.
Yep. Or this way.
Looks like
Uh-oh. What happened? Oh no. Oh no, did we lose Jamil? Let me call him. Hey, where'd you go? Oh, okay. Try to hop back in. Yeah, I'm in here and like you completely disappeared from the stream. Okay, are we back?
I guess, yeah. I don't know. I have no idea what happened there. I just was like talking and talking and talking, and then everyone disappeared.
Yeah, I mean, I was here until you asked me to scroll the screen, and then I don't know what happened after that.
All is well. So guys, real quick, if you are siding, backing, or fronting traffic, you're going to need to make an adjustment of around 10 to 20,000 if you are in a price point under 350K. And if you are over 500K, if you're siding, backing, or fronting traffic, you are going to take off 10 to 20%. And then last but not least, guys, if you are using basements or guest houses, the most an appraiser will ever give you for below grade or additional dwelling unit square footage is 50% of value if they even let you use it at all. Now, let's get into the weeds, guys, and let's get to some comping.
That is so funny. Jared said the genie got put back in the lamp.
It's so funny. Liz was like, did he forget to pay his internet bill? Liz, that's happened. So that's very on brand for me. That could absolutely do that.
That's hilarious.
Cool. And guys, I love the fact that y'all are here putting addresses in here, and like we got near 100 people on here already. So let's comp some cribs.
Yeah, let's do it. There was one question about the appraisal rules. Jared asked, can you make adjustments for factors like frontage property if there simply isn't enough sales data in the area?
So let's put that up on the screen here. Oops. Can you make adjustments for factors like frontage property if there simply isn't enough? So I think he's saying, and then Jared, correct me if I'm wrong here, but you're saying if a property fronts traffic, but there's just not enough data to compare it to, can you make an adjustment? And yeah, I think what you would need to do is make the adjustment in the percentages that we were just talking about. So what you could do is if you are siding, fronting, or backing, depending on the price point, you would make the adjustment of either 10, no, scroll up. You would make the adjustment of either 10, 10K or 20K or 10, 15, and 20%, depending on if you were siding, fronting, or backing traffic or commercial and the price point. So I think, Jared, that's what you were asking. But if there was a more specific question, then type it out and we'll bring you back up. Also, guys, if you're not following Jared Frankum's journey, this guy is legit. Jared is actually, or can you make adjustments for things like frontage with non-frontage if there's simply, yeah, so Jared, that's what he was asking. So then, yes, these are the percentages and the adjustments you want to make. Guys, follow Jared. He's out in North Carolina right now, starting his business from scratch. And he's documenting the entire thing. He's driving for dollars. He's making cold calls. He's bumping his head against the wall. He's getting success. He's going through all of the fields. He's going through all of it, and he's publicly sharing it with everybody so that you can actually see how easy it is to get a business up and running in a brand new space, which I think is incredible. Incredible, Jared. You're a great dude. What about adjustments that you would make for homes on flag lots? Oh my gosh. For those of you that don't know what a flag lot is, they're very interesting. I didn't learn about flag lots until a few years ago. So let's just say, for instance, that you have a house and it's on a major, a regular street. A flag lot means that you would actually be driving past another house and your lot is behind another property. So you're actually not on you're not on a street. You're tucked in behind another property. So that's why they call it a flag lot. Kind of like how a flag is, a flag, you got a pole and then you have the flag. So that's what they're talking about. You're going to go up the pole and then you're going to flag out. That's essentially what happens on a flag lot. I would have thought that flag lots had less value, and in some price points they do. But in some price points, they're worth more money. So in luxury neighborhoods, Freddie, if you have a flag lot, it provides increased privacy. The problem with it, though, is that it creates traffic for the property that is at the front of the property, right? So that property at the front of the property actually has that's the one that's going to take the hit, because it's going to have traffic going by it in order for the access to that house on the rear of the lot. So in luxury price points, it's worse for the property in the front and it's better for the property in the back. But at lower price points, it's actually the exact opposite. It's worse for the property at the back than it is for the front. So yes, you would make adjustments, and it's totally going to depend on the price point that we're looking at, and it'd be case by case. But in some ways, it can add value, and in others, it can subtract value. Also, it's really important, Freddie, to know if there is an easement and who has control of that easement. So typically, what ends up happening on a flag lot is they share a driveway. Well, who's the owner of the driveway?
Interesting.
Yep.
Oh, can the appraisal rules be bent a little bit?
Yeah, of course. These are not hard and fast rules. These are rules to kind of keep in mind, but use your discretion when you break them. For instance, Moyo is saying, if you say your subject property and your comp property are, say, 6 or 10 years apart, can they still be valid? Absolutely. Absolutely. If there's little or no evidence of houses that are within 5 years of construction and you have to use a house that's 10 years older, then you have to use that house. But the reason why I'm saying this is because what ends up happening is wholesalers that are new in the business, they'll come in and there'll be a perfect comp right next to their property. But that perfect comp doesn't actually make their house a deal. So what do? They do all kinds of mental gymnastics, and they pull a comp from a completely different subdivision that doesn't even compare to what they're looking at to try to justify some fake value. That's the reason why we have these parameters here, so that you're not trying to bend your property to make it more than it actually is. We want to evaluate a house for what it actually is, so that you're not overpaying. Everybody send Anton a text message.
That's dope. How would you comp a burned property?
Depends on the neighborhood, if it's or the market. If you are in a high appreciation, high demand neighborhood or area market like Phoenix, Arizona, for instance, I look at it like if there is still a truss structure. So if there's still some trusses up there and there's still a roof, but there could be a hole in the roof, that's fine. But as long as there's still like walls and a truss structure and foundation, in a high appreciation, high demand market, you would be at 50% of ARV for a fire burn. In a low appreciation, low demand market, you would probably be closer to 20% of ARV. Half is still good in a high appreciation, high demand market. For instance, Edwin, when I'm looking at fire burn properties here in Phoenix, Arizona, I'm a buyer at 50% of ARV. Cool?
You want to get into it?
Let's get into it.
All righty, let's do it. Michael Haynes said, when is Emily getting her own show?
Right? When are you getting your own show, Emily?
Nah, I'm better as like a wing woman.
Wing woman. That's awesome.
Do you want to expand your screen, sir?
Sure. I'd love to.
Alrighty. Here is our first address in California, 4701 8th Avenue, and that's in Sacramento. He said it has a detached garage that has a bathroom.
Okay, cool. I wonder like what the purpose of the bathroom in the garage was. Was this like a guy who was like, oh my God, every time I get to my car, I forget I had to use a restroom and I just had to like dart out of my car and go do my business? What was the purpose of the bathroom in the garage?
I love that's where your mind went. That's hilarious. My mind went to maybe he works in his garage, like he's like does like projects or something, so he has a close bathroom.
Oh, no, my head just saw this guy like sit down in his car and then he was like, oops, forgot to poop. So we got a 1930 built, 1436 square foot, 2-bed, 1-bath. Batch's value estimate is $435,000. Sitting on a 6,100 square foot lot. It is a 2-story house. It doesn't look like a 2-story house to me. Batch says it's a 2-story. I'm going to call BS on that. Does have a garage. It says it has a pool. Let's see what it's worth.
Liz Eichner said, now Jamil has to get Emily a superhero cape and a shirt that says wing woman.
Okay. I love it.
That'll be my uniform.
I love it. Actually, it's just going to be a t-shirt with a big chicken wing on it.
So Edwin, I think I read earlier that Edwin came in the comments. He goes, Jamil, I just had some great wings.
Yes. I love that you guys have your eyes on good food, just like me. So this was a great property for us to look at, by the way, because check it out. It's got all the things going on with it. It's literally siding and backing a major road. But look at this beautiful comp right up the road from September even. And it's a little bit smaller. That sold for $625,000. So, guys, let's make the adjustments. $625,000 at 1349 square feet is $463 a square foot. Multiply that by 1436, that takes us to about $665. Now let's make the adjustments for the traffic. At this price point, we got to take off 20%, which is $133,000 for traffic. So 665 minus 133 takes us to about a 535 ARV. 535 ARV, and you want to be offering them about 390.
I know you just did all those beautiful calculations, and I hope this doesn't change it, but Eric was saying that it is a 2-story.
It is a 2-story.
Yes.
How is that possible? How does this?
It's the brick house.
Oh. Got it. Well, let's look at this comp and see what the details are on this. I don't know if this comp is even going to be usable for us. No, because it's a single story. Can you ask because even that brick house didn't look like it was 2 stories high, but is there a basement? Tell me about that. Tell us if that's a basement or if it's square footage above on the 2nd story.
I don't think there's a basement. I believe it is a second story.
Got it. Okay, well, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna look at it from another point of view, because we ain't done with this one then yet. We got to find a 2-story.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. My voice is a little bit rough. I've been on calls since 1 o'clock this afternoon, so I haven't actually given my voice a break yet. So if I'm a little hoarse, I apologize. I still don't see where the second story in this thing could be. Is it in the back? Oh, it is. See it? Right there.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. Cool. Let's check the map. So it's 2 bed, 1 bath, 1436, according to Zillow. Let's see if we can find a 2-story to help us out. This is a single story. Another single story. And I don't feel like we're going to find a lot of single stories to 2 stories to make the, so we're going to need to make the adjustment ourselves. So typically at this price point, second story is going to be another 10% off. So here's where we're at. We had 665. We took off 130 for the traffic, and we're going to take off another 65 or 50. We're going to take off another 65 for the second story. So that's going to take us to an ARV of around 480. And then if you want to be offering on this one, I'd say 350 is your max. 350 is your max.
That was a great one to start.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun to kind of figure that stuff out, right? You don't want to overpay and not take into consideration the stairs and not take into consideration the traffic, and then end up buying that house and then end up getting, completely beat up on it.
Yeah. Awesome. Ready?
Yes.
Okay, next one is in New York.
Okie dokie.
So it's 19 First Street, and that's in Rosedale. Oh, wow.
Interesting, right? 19 First Street, Jamaica. We got a 4-bed, 1 bath. How many square feet is this? It's not really giving us a lot of data. Whoever put this up here, can you tell us the size?
Chris Falcon, let us know the size, please. Oh, he said he couldn't find anything.
Let's check batch, see if we can find something there.
It says 788. on batch, he said.
788. That's what we got to go with. Okay. So batch's value estimate is 561. It's an 1899 build, 788 square footer. And it says that it was a 4-bed, 1-bath. His estimate on it is 474. Sitting on a 4,000 square foot lot. Let's see what we can find here from the map. Here's our subject. Looks like we're on the water. Dang. Not a ton of data out here. For whatever reason, they're not disclosing a lot of the sizes of these houses. So we can see sales, but we can't see how big these houses were that sold. So it's difficult for us to make a comparison. You know, here's one where they listed it 1688 square feet, but it's back in 2019. Interesting. All right, let's go down. Let's go back to batch and see if we can make better sense of it here.
For those of you amazing people that were here in the comments at 4:30, if you want to go ahead and send your deals again, because as the comments keep coming in my StreamYard, I lose the ones at the top. So I just want you all to have opportunities.
And then again, very little here. Very little. Wow, that's no fun. There's just so little to go off of. Gonna go back to Zillow. And I'm gonna try this little pocket over here.
Man, I'm really stumping you with these today.
Well, it's good. It's I like to look at stuff like this so that, you know, people that are in the weeds on it, they kind of see like what would I do in this circumstance, you know?
Exactly. I love that. Because when we have super easy ones, it's not a very good teaching opportunity.
It's not. It makes it too easy, you know?
Yeah.
So we are so small comparatively. I'm also trying to see if there's any evidence of like new construction here to see if do we need to just tear that little thing down or what, you know, because there's nothing else out here that's that size. Everything is, you know, 3 times the size of that or bigger. So because we are lacking so much information, what I'm going to have to do, and guys, forgive me for this, because it's not going to be super accurate. But it's the best we've got because we've got nothing here that's that size. So what I'm going to look at is these houses right here that have listed some square footage. We're going to see what's the average dollar per square foot for 2,000 and 3,000 square foot houses. And then we will try and extrapolate that down to 798 square feet. Again, it's not exact. It's not going to be. I wouldn't sign an appraisal based off this, but at least I have something to go off of. So at 3,000 square feet at $1 million. $333 a foot. That gets us to about a 270 ARV on our subject. Let's just check a 2,000 square footer and see if that valuation still kind of looks the same. Just looking for something a little smaller here. Bear with me. Because not a lot of houses here have been disclosing their sizes. $380 a foot at the smaller. So as you go smaller, the dollar per square foot is definitely jumping. I'd rather use this 380. Takes us to about 300. So that's where we're going to have to call it. Again, it's not perfect, but I think it's probably worth around 300 grand.
Wow.
On we go.
All righty.
Wow, it's so cool. Look at how many people showed up to this. This is great.
I know. It's amazing.
What's next?
All righty. Next one is in PA. What is that? Pennsylvania?
Yep.
See, as we've progressed, I've gotten a lot better at this.
Totally.
402 East 10th Avenue. And that's in Conshohocken. Right there.
Good job. With the she's like totally stepping out on a limb here. She would have never attempted to even say that word 6 months ago.
Nope.
We got like a linguistics and a geography class all happening on Straight Outta Compin for you. It's incredible.
I know. It's just so much value, Jamil. Seriously.
Oh man. All right, we got a 3-bed, 1-bath, 1,494 square footer in Conshohocken, Pennsylvania. The Zillow estimate on it is $287,600. Let's look at the quick comps. Ooh, I like these. They're close by our subject. Number 532. Oh, all of them. So number 1 is a 1,427 square foot attached product that sold for $282. Number 2 sold for $303 and significantly smaller. Number 3 appears to be a remodel, and that sold smaller again at $325. We've got a 1,200 square footer at $330. So it looks like we possibly might have, a $350, $360 based off the quick comps. Let's see what we got.
They are hyping me up in the comments. for pronouncing that right.
There you go. I mean, you deserve it.
Thank you guys. That feels so good.
Awesome. So we've got a 330 here for a smaller house. So that's starting to lean towards my 350 ARV hope. But look at this, 400. We got a 400 here at a 1326er, and that's a renovated comp as well. So we're north of 400. Is there a 420 that we can find? I think 400 is it, Emily.
Awesome. Alberto asked, hey, Jamil, what did you eat for breakfast?
Oh, great question. I had scrambled eggs this morning, and my wife baked fresh croissants.
Oh, amazing.
So, yeah, I had scrambled eggs, fresh croissants, and a cup of coffee. It was awesome. The best.
That's so good. All right, we have a quadplex.
Ooh, what are the rents? Where is it?
North Carolina.
Okay.
So he said rents $1,100 to $1,400 for 1-1s.
I don't know a lot of $1,400 1-1s in North Carolina. I'm gonna say 1,100 sounds a little high too for a 1-1, but we'll go with it. 1,100 times 4, $4,400 a month in gross rents. That is 52,800 in annualized rents. $352 is your ARV, and you want to buy that at around 270, 265, 270.
Awesome. Our next one is going to be in Iowa.
Okay.
1002 East High Street. And that's in Davenport. She said, referral from an out-of-state wholesaler who has a contract with the owner's mom and not the owner. Did a walkthrough with the owner present yesterday.
You can't have a contract with the owner's mom and not the owner. So, you're going to need to get to the bottom of that. But we got a 3-bedroom. I'm going to imagine it has at least 1 bath. It's not showing us it. Oh, not on the tax record, but there's the bathroom right there. We might even be able to see if it's got 2 bathrooms. Hold on, let's see. Look at this sink. And then let's look at this bathroom. Different sink, right? Different stuff on the sink. Yep. So a 2-bath. See what we did there?
I love that.
3-bed, 2-bath, 1,260 square footer. Zillow's estimate on it is $124,500. Looking at the quick comps, number 1 and 2 seem to be the closest. Number 1 sold at 121, number 2, 120, number 3, 124. Looks like Zillow wants us to think this is worth around 125. Let's look at the map.
Adrian asked, what if the daughter has power of attorney?
Then it's fine. Zillow might be right this time. Yeah, 130.
Awesome. Alrighty. Next one is in Florida.
Okay.
239 Curlew Street. Curlew. And that's in Fort Myers Beach. Oh, I love that.
Cute, right?
Yes.
239 Curlew Street, Fort Myers Beach, Florida is a 3-bed, 2-bath, 1189 square foot house that is pending on the MLS at $724,000. It's been available for 40 days. Let's see when it went pending. Went pending in October. So right after it was put on the market. October 5th. So somebody tied this up at 724. Let's look at the interior of this house. It looks to be fairly cute, but a little bit dated. This house does have a pool. And it looks like it might even back some water, but we'll have to look at it from... No, is that it? Yeah, right there where the little arrow is. It is on the water. All right, well, let's see what it's worth. Here's our subject. I mean, already I can tell you that its list price is top retail. Top retail. Here's the closed at 780 at 938 square feet. So that's a good sale. That's a new build. They added, yeah, they just built that up. I mean, here's a 2,000 square footer, and look at the shape of this thing. I mean, it's gorgeous, and it's sold for $789. So I think the retail on that house is probably about $750. They're asking $724, so it's not a big deal, not a significant deal. And in fact, I think if you really want to be picking this up at a good price, I think you can't be $1 over 600 on this thing. They're listed $124,000 higher than that. What are the chances that this thing is going to be in a price where we need it to be? I don't know. Claudio asked, can I break down the ARV from episode 2 of our show? I don't know specifically which part you're asking about, Claudio. Also, they make us be a little bit less like in the grain with it when we're doing it for the TV show, just because it's like 42 minutes and they won't let me blab on about comping rules. But yeah, if you can specifically ask which part, Claudio, or even DM me, I know who you are, bro. I'll respond to you, and I'll try and clarify that for you if there was something there that was a little bit unclear. And if you, those of you that are like, what show? Guys, if you didn't know, Pace, myself, Laura Morby, Pace's wife, and my sister Rahima, we have a television show on A&E that airs every Saturday at noon. It's kind of neat. It's called Triple Digit Emily.
I wish. Triple digit flip, guys.
Yes.
Yup. You guys got to give this video some love, some like. Got to subscribe to Jamil's channel. He's been going all day. He's literally losing his voice. So that's the least that we can give back to him. So let's do it, guys. I'm gonna go on my phone right now and like it in my app.
There you go. Thanks, guys. That's fun.
I'm not even kidding. I just liked it. So
there you go.
I don't do things that I don't tell you guys that I wouldn't do.
Right? That's true. Tanisha, what's up? She was at the premiere. Super cool to meet you in person. Tanisha Epps, great person.
That's awesome.
What's next?
What's next? There's so many to choose from. A lot of pressure today, guys. I like it. Let's do one in North Carolina.
Cool. Let's do it.
6813 Torrance Lane in Fayetteville. TORRANCE.
$6813 Torrance Lane, Fayetteville, North Carolina is a 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,095 square foot house that Zillow has it estimated at $129,400. Looking at the pics, it looks like a cute little investor rental. It's got some laminate flooring going on in here. All the things. All right, let's look at some quick comps. So our subject is here, and quick comps, all of these quick comps are viable. Let's see. Number one is 1,086 square feet, and that sold at 125. And we've got more 125s. We've got an 1,100 square foot, 135. We've got another 1,135 square foot, 138. So 130 seems to be what Zillow wants us to think it's worth. Let's see if there's anything that justifies a higher value. Here is our subject. I mean, right here, there's a full remodel. We don't even have to look very far. 145. 145 is the ARV, Emily.
Love it.
Easy, easy, lemony squeezies.
We got a question that is in all caps, so I feel very called to answer this.
Okay.
How do you comp modular homes if there aren't other modular home comps?
Ooh. So what I want to know is this a mobile home surrounded by other single family homes? What I would typically do in that instance is I would make an adjustment for it being a modular home. How much of an adjustment really just depends on the area, location, and all of those things. I'd love to actually comp this one if you have an address for us so I can kind of get into the weeds with it. Great question though, great question. You will have to compare it to a single family, but you're going to have to take a huge adjustment because if there's no other manufactured homes nearby, we can gain land value and whatnot based off the other single families there, but then we have to apply a multiple to the actual structure because it's not apples to apples, it's apples to crab apples. I think that's it. Dang.
Yeah.
Wow, that went by fast, guys. Again, we super appreciate every single one of you that show up week after week to comp houses. Emily, thank you so much. I know there's so many things that you can be doing on a Sunday, but instead of doing those things, she comes and hangs out with us. So everybody, all the love to Emily for being amazing and cool. You're the best, Em. We appreciate you. We love you. And for those of you that are just getting started in this business, keep it up. Keep going. This is the foundation of this business. You have to learn how to, I love you too, Hudson. You have to learn how to value property, and that is what's going to allow you to get longevity in this. Also, tune in to Triple Digit Flip every Saturday at noon on A&E, and otherwise, enjoy your guys' weeks. You're all incredible.
Bye, guys.